Good morning, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Morning Mashups. Today, we are going to talk about what is needed and how to create high levels of productivity and production for your business. I have several thoughts I'm going to share with you and ideas to help us really invoke some thought on what we need to do to change our behaviors, the different parts of the business, parts of, frankly, any business that are important to generate long-term success, referrals, etc., and everything in between. So if you have a pen and paper, I suggest you take some notes. And as always, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw your questions into the comment box, and I'll do my best to try to answer them live or afterwards with a quick reply. So let's really start with the idea that we have to narrow the gap between where your current productions are today, where you want to be, and the skills required to narrow that gap. So I'm assuming that if you're watching this, or really if you're any agent out there, you have the desire to take your business from where it is today. Let's say you're doing 10, 15 deals. You want to get to 25, 30 deals or whatever it may be. We have to learn the things involved to narrow that gap and make it easier for us to achieve our goals. So I have some thoughts that I wrote down for you, and we'll go through them. And again, if you have questions, let me know. So the first thing I wrote down is, in order to really create a strong business, we have to have the highest quality of service that we offer to our clients. The higher the quality of our business, the business that we offer, the more referrals that we get and the easier it becomes to grow our business. So you always have to remember that selling real estate is a service business, not a product business. Yes, you are selling a product, a home, or helping someone sell their home, but the service is actually what they're hiring you for. Because as you know, in any market, there's no shortage of agents. There's no shortage of places that they can go to help them with the process of either buying or selling their asset. But what really sets the best apart from the rest is the level of service that they provide and what that does for their continued success, their referrals, and creating fanatic fans. Most businesses or agents have a high level of production are the ones that create raving fans through the sales process, which then in turn means that service is more important than the product, right? Anybody can help someone find a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,500 square foot home, but who can do it with the highest level of service? So they're creating these raving fans, which in turn generates more referrals, more clients, and more opportunity. I wrote down underneath that we have to keep in mind that although we are in the service business, the quality of our service is oftentimes greatly connected or correlated with our level of skills. So what that means for us is not only do we have to be focused on creating a great customer experience and great customer journey, we also have to be focused on developing our skills so that we can show up and be the person that our clients need us to be on a consistent basis. When you have quality skills, you make business decisions faster. When you don't, in turn, you make decisions slower. You make business decisions faster when you have higher skills, higher service, which in turn brings you more business in the form of more leads and more referrals, right? So the quality of your skills and the quality of your service is really going to dictate your ability to make decisions fast, support your clients quickly and with a lot of value, which in turn brings you more business in the form of more leads and more referrals. So we have to always remember that the basis of growing and scaling any business comes down to the level of service that we're offering and the skills in which we have to provide great service and great returns in terms of helping our clients get what they want done. Second thing I wrote down, I have to initiate good business changes and stop reacting emotionally to the things that take place. I have to initiate good business changes. What we have to think about is, where in our business do we have deficiencies? Where in our business do we need to make these changes? Because if you don't pay attention to the places in your business that you're weak or not as good as you should be, then it becomes really challenging to create those good business changes. And don't have a logical process here, right? Or an emotional process rather. We need to look at this very logically and take inventory of, looking at my past 10 transactions, which ones went well, which ones were more of a challenge, and where do I need to initiate these good business changes so that I can create an opportunity for myself in which I can serve my clients and their needs even better. We have to remember that oftentimes when you don't have the skills, the confidence, the high level of service, it's really easy to get emotional to the things that happen and the things that take place in our business. But the more you can keep those emotions in between the lines and continue to show up with strong intentions and strong follow through for your clients, that is the backbone of one, providing really good service, right? It's our job to keep the emotions out of the equation, not just for ourselves, but also for our clients. The more you can make this an emotionless process for them, in turn creating more confidence to help them move along quicker, then what that all means for you is them being excited about the service that they were offered, which in turn creates you more business in the form of more leads and more referrals. So you got to ask yourself, what changes do I have to initiate? For instance, stop reacting emotionally to things that happen in the business. Make mental and skill changes. What kind of skills do we need to develop? What kind of skills do we need to change in our business so that we can show up better and be a better service provider for our clients? And also, what kind of mental changes do we need to make? How's our mindset? How easy are we getting thrown off track? So if you take the time and ask yourself, what changes do you need to initiate so that you can continue to make yourself better and provide better service and develop your skills? If you took the time to make that list and then focus on finding solutions on how you can be better at those points, that's one of the easiest ways to have higher productivity and grow your business in terms of production. We have to remember point number 3 is very important, which is desperation is the downfall of all success. I'm going to say that again. Desperation is the downfall of all success. Desperation gives your clients control, right? When you seem desperate, the ball is on their side of the court. And when you are not the average agent, you show up as a pro that takes deals that they want as opposed to any deal that they can get, it gives you way more authority and it gives your clients way more confidence with you as their service provider. So we have to remember that as you go into this business and you're looking to grow it, I understand that sometimes we are desperate for business. But we have to remember that desperation is the downfall of all success. Desperation puts you in the place where you take deals you shouldn't, you become emotional when you shouldn't, you don't focus on making the positive changes that you should. So what's the solution to that? Well, the solution is going back to the points that we just talked about. Developing a very high level of service, developing skills around your business in regards to the changes that need to be made, focusing on your dialogue, your conversation, your follow-up, your follow-through. All of these things make you a stronger person, which in turn helps you have stronger productivity, stronger production, which then on the backside keeps you from being desperate and taking deals and putting yourself in situations that you frankly should not have put yourself into. So remember again, I'll say it one more time, that desperation is the downfall of all success. So you can think about how this shows up in many different parts of life. If you are single and you're dating and you're just very desperate, that's usually not going to work for you. If you go into any scenario, let's say you're trying to buy a new car and you walk in very desperate, very emotional about the car that you want to get, what are the chances that you're going to get a very good deal on it? Just this past weekend, we were in Vegas doing some shopping and we were looking at some things and I wanted what I ended up buying, but I was not desperate to have it. And the result of that was getting like a 48% discount on something that, frankly, I should not have got a discount on. But I wasn't going into it desperate. I was going into it confident. Yes, I want this product. But I allowed myself to remove the desperation, remove the emotion, because when desperation and emotion are involved, that's the downfall of the success that you're trying to achieve. So you can see that shows up when you're buying a product or service. You can see that shows up in the dating world, and it also shows up when you're working with your clients. Desperation gives them control. And what we want to do is not control them, but we want to be able to control the conversation, control the progress, control the dialogue, and help them start to feel comfortable and confident with the decision that they're going to make when it comes to buying or selling property with us. Next point I wrote down, we have to ask ourselves this all the time. Am I studying on a regular basis how other successful people operate? Are you taking the time on a regular basis to study people that have achieved what you're trying to achieve? Are you taking the time to understand why said person has reached this level of success? Or is it that your ego is stopping you from studying successful people? That's a real question. Are you always putting yourself in the position where you're studying, learning, developing the skills that other successful people have so you can learn how they've become successful? Or are you the type of person that's allowing your ego to get in the way and stop you from that critical learning process? I know for myself, my business partners, and the different things that we do, when we want to go from where we're at to a new place in the business, the first thing that we try to do is find out how other successful people have done it. We have to remember that success leaves clues. For those of us that are willing to remove the ego and pay attention, success leaves clues. So what we have to do is open up our mind, remove our ego, and continue to study what successful people have done and are doing to achieve the level of success that we would like to achieve. Because what's real, what's a matter of fact, is they have paved the road. They have paved the road from where you are to where they are. And instead of trying to figure it out on your own, you can simply study what other successful people have done and start to do your best to take those same steps forward to achieve that level of success that you desire. Next thing I wrote down, I believe it's point number 5. We have to remember that one of the most critical steps of providing high service, high quality of service, and creating raving fans is that we always have to tell our sellers and our buyers the truth. We have to tell them the truth. That's from everything in between the transaction, when you're taking the listing, if they're trying to be overpriced, if they're trying to buy a home that's outside of their affordability range. We have to be able to tell them the truth. But the question then becomes, why do we hesitate on this point? For everybody, it's a different answer, but I oftentimes believe that the reason we hesitate to tell the truth is because we're coming from a place of desperation, which is, again, why the prior point that we touched on is desperation is the downfall of all success. Because when you're too desperate to tell them the truth, because you just want to say whatever you need to say in order to get the business, that oftentimes means that you're going to get business that you shouldn't have had, not because you don't deserve it, but actually the exact opposite of it. They don't deserve to be lied to, and you don't deserve to take a transaction that you're better than. Here's a question. Do you expect and want your doctor or your attorney to tell you the truth? Of course you do. We have to remember that just like them, they're in the service business. They're in the service, a doctor's in the service of keeping you healthy, keeping you alive. You would expect for them to tell you the truth, not so much be worried about hurting your feelings, which means that with us in the service business, we have to have that same practice. We always have to tell the clients the truth so that we can create these raving fans so that they feel compelled, almost obligated, to remember you and refer you to their friends, their family, their associates when they're thinking about buying or selling some real estate. Next point I wrote down, and we'll finish with this, is we have to remember that direct sales is a process. Do you understand the direct sales process? Do you understand the equation of direct sales? And we have to ask ourselves, how good am I at understanding the process of direct sales? Because direct sales equals strong presentation, And a strong presentation equals great questions. So if we take it to the end point, if we want to have a strong presentation, a strong sales process, the first question we have to ask ourselves is, are we asking strong questions? Do we have strong dialogue? Are we telling them the truth? And in turn, does that help us create a strong presentation so that our clients get excited, motivated, and start to feel comfortable and confident in working with us? We have to remember this. Clients sign contracts because of the quality of your presentation. Clients sign contracts because of the quality of your presentation. Like we said earlier, there's no shortage of agents that they can use to buy or sell homes. Oftentimes, someone in their family probably has a license and can simply help them with the process. But if they're signing the contract with you, or if you would like to get more contracts signed, we have to remember that they already think that since you have your license, that you're qualified to do the job. They believe you already have what it takes, but that's not what they're hiring you for. They're hiring you for the strong presentation that you give them. The quality of your presentation will dictate the level of your productivity and your production. Hopefully today added some value. As always, I really appreciate you guys checking in. If there's anything I can do to support, please let me know. Hope to see you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.